Alright, back into it. I was right. We were right before a cutscene.
Hey!
Yay, my commando is back finally.
Huh. Would it kill her to smile?
Wow, that was the whole cutscene.
Time to move. Okay.
Why is Saz the leader? Okay, bully. These are probably good. I'd rather have a triple Ravager though. She has a ton of Crystarium points. I think she was getting them even though she was gone. Strength plus 10. Spark Strike. Alright. Lightning, wait! There's enemies. Where are you going?
Guess running's out of the question.
It's weird not controlling lightning. Lightning return. Oh, BBS. I'm going to be playing BBS soon, also, for my quest to platinum every version of every game. BBS is next on my list. I'm not looking forward to the PS3 version of BBS. The game already was long enough without PS3 load times. I don't even want to see what the command board is like on PS3. That's gonna be interesting. The one saving grace is I'm skipping cutscenes, because I've already seen the story. And so, given that it's a PSP game and I'm skipping cutscenes, it's probably gonna be really quick to run through the story. But then after that, it's gonna be a grind. But it'll be fun just to blast through the story. Of course, blasting through the story in that game is still tedious because you have to do it 3 times, each character. So... Birth by Sleep. The PSP Kingdom Hearts game. got a very unique combat system and a lot of really terrible minigames. Like, super half-baked minigames. There's a kart racer, if you can believe that. And it is the worst kart racer ever in any video game I've ever played. To even call it a kart racer is giving it way too much credit.
Here we go. Nothing to it.
So are Kingdom Hearts with good minigames? Next question. Yeah, to be fair, I actually really like Command Board. If you've never seen Command Board before, it's basically a complete ripoff of the Disney game, what is it, Market Street? Market something? The Wii game. Market something. I forget the name. It's sitting on my shelf over there, but I can't see it from here. It's a Wii game that's based on... Oh, Fortune Street. Yeah, that's what it's called. So it's a Fortune Street ripoff, and it's pretty fun. The problem is, in order to get the trophy that is connected to Command Board, you have to play it like 500 times. It's like really... really grindy. But it is actually a pretty fun minigame. Just, you have to play it way too much. For no reason. You don't get anything from it.
The old man still got it.
It's like Monopoly, but better. It's like if you took Monopoly and mixed in, like, economy. Buying things when they're high or low and selling them when they're high, etc. Instead of just buying properties and then hoping people land on them. There's like a whole economy mixed in. It's pretty fun. Both Fortune Street and the Command Board are pretty fun. I think Fortune Street's a bit better. Command Board's kind of just a rip-off that's not as good, but...
To the victor go the spoils.
No, I wasn't saying economy as a game. I was saying economy as, like, the phrase economy. So the idea of an economy. Was that Fortune Street, or was it like a completely different thing? 'Cause I think I remember that. I thought I remembered like the slime from Dragon Quest being in Fortune Street. Maybe I'm misremembering though. Dude, speaking of board games, if I'm gonna give everyone my unpopular opinion of Final Fantasy XIII, I gotta give you my hot take on board games. Frickin' Ticket to Ride sucks. I heard so many people saying Ticket to Ride was great. I played it and I was like, this kind of blows. I did not like it. To be fair, I played a digital version of it. Maybe it's better physically, but I was like, I don't get how this is fun. Ember Ring. Is there another chest? I heard something. Here. Nope. I'm also not the biggest Catan fan. I do like it, but not to the degree of like, I'm gonna go buy the expansions and play only Catan. Increases fire resistance by 20%. Not really gonna be useful unless we're like fighting an actual fire boss. Maybe if I had 2 equipment slots, but with only 1.
Hurry up.
I'm trying to get that attack. I think Catan is... It's one of those games where, like, if other people know it, you can have fun, because you don't have to explain a new game to them. But I'm not trying to, like, go to someone's house for the sole purpose of playing Catan. It's not that fun to me. I thought it was alright. Now, Dominion. You put out the Dominion board, I'll be there. With pizza.
What is that?
Pulse armament.
It's the enemy from Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Bad for us, isn't it?
You have eyes, don't you?
It's a sweeper. Dominion is a deck building tabletop game. It's really good. Highly recommend. Yes, this is on a OG PS3 Slim.
Bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, it's kind of true of all board games, I feel. There's a bit of a skill gap. Or not even like skill, but more like just experience gap. Where a lot of like competitive tabletop games, if you play with someone that's played it before, you just get rocked and it's not fun. You know? Like, that's where stuff like the old-fashioned games are fun. Like Trouble and Monopoly and Mousetrap and stuff like that is fun, because even if you're experienced in it, there's a very good chance you'll lose to luck. But when you play stuff that's all skill-based, when you play with people that own it, you usually just get smashed, and it's not very fun. But that's why I really like co-op games, and like pretty much 90% of the games we play nowadays are co-op games. Because you never run into that problem. Co-op games are always fun. I really like how Libra is actually good and tells you a lot of information, and it kind of feels required to do some research on the enemy to beat them. I like that a lot. I kind of miss that. A lot of newer games you just whack away because everything works. Also, level 62. What? How is he level 62? How is he even a level at all? This game has no levels. I guess the enemies do and we don't. That's weird. Thought the game froze or something.
Thought we were goners. You all right?
I think so. Incoming.
Follow the old guy's lead.
Alright, I got Faith on Vanille and Bravery on Lightning. We should be doing all the damage now. Need to stagger him though. That's probably gonna hurt.
Time to pull the old switcheroo.
Is he healing?
Bobbing and weaving.
Lightning's about to do all the damage. Look at that damage. Bravery plus D protect. It's still weird that staggering doesn't stun enemies. I'm so used to that. What do you mean there's a... The medic role is now available to Lightning. That's interesting. And Commando for Saz, that's nice. Could have used that a while ago.
Pulse is crawling with things like that, isn't it?
Got me. Not even the Corps has access to intel on Pulse. Soldiers in the field fight blind.
Yeah, I noticed that. But don't you need to know exactly what you're up against?
Target's a target.
You like to keep it simple, don't you?
I stick to my goal.
As long as you have a goal, you can fight?
You can stay alive.
Oh yeah, we get to upgrade stuff now. Certain components bestow a bonus to any XP spent on a piece of equipment. By utilizing these components, you'll be able to make more efficient upgrades. Likewise, some components reduce an item's XP bonus. Careful consideration is required when deciding which components to employ. Once a particular piece of equipment has reached its maximum potential, its level will be replaced by a star. At this point, no further advancement is possible, but the item can be transformed into an entirely different one by means of specialized components. Yeah, so I remember the upgrade system being pretty great, and it's very similar to some other games that are not Final Fantasy games. I enjoyed that. The whole, like, level up so it can become a new thing, and then level up again, and then so on and so forth. At the end of the game, it devolves into fighting turtles, but throughout the game, I remember it being pretty good. I guess we'll see, though, what I think of it now, but I remember very much enjoying it. What do you guys think about, we talked about it a bit earlier, but what do you guys think about the fact that to unlock new classes, and specifically just to get stronger, you have to progress through the story? As opposed to, like, just having a number for a level and basically having, like, experience exponentially grow. So, like, the way that most Final Fantasies deal with balance is they technically allow you to get to level 99 in the first area, but XP is exponential, so the longer you stay in the same area, the harder it's going to be to get higher. So that's kind of like an artificial balance. So if you're struggling, you can sit there and level up, and you know, eventually you're going to beat it for free. But as you're running through, you're not going to hopefully you're not going to accidentally get too OP. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the general concept, is that By having it be exponential, you're not going to get too strong when you're running through areas normally. Here, it's more of a hard cap. It's like you only get this stuff to upgrade until you beat this boss, and then you get the next set of upgrades. I feel like there's positives and negatives to that. Right now, it doesn't feel like I'm ever really going to hit max. Like right now, it doesn't feel like I'm going to get to the point where I'm like, wow, I can't upgrade anymore until I progress, because there's nothing else to do but progress. But maybe later it might become a problem when I want to do other stuff, which I know you're laughing, what other stuff, but when I want to do other stuff or like explore an area and I end up hitting kind of that max, and then I'm like, oh, I got to go fight a boss so I can continue upgrading. So like, maybe in this game it'll be fine because it's pretty linear anyways, but in general as a concept, I think that maybe it's flawed a bit. You can explore hallways. I mean, sometimes there's like a chair you can sit in, and sometimes people put little books in their hallways. You can read the book. I don't know. And the sun comes out. What in God's name is that? Is that a person? Is that a slug? What is that? She's got some sludge. There's so much cool stuff to buy, and I don't have enough gil for any of it. I'm like super poor, I don't know why. I mean, I haven't done any grinding, but could I even do any grinding? I've just been walking forward. Isn't this what she already has? This is the only thing I don't already own. What is this store? Why is this store just stuff I already own? Let's see. Do I want to upgrade this weapon? Wait a second. Oh, never mind. She has the Gladius equipped, right? Future upgrades will receive a 50% XP bonus. Really? Even though I didn't upgrade it? Give it some strange fluids. I don't know if I should like just use all this stuff or if I should save some of it. I don't know if some of it's like I need some of it for specific weapons or if it's all just use it. I know these are for selling. Okay, that's for transforming. So I think the rest of this is just go ahead and use it. I don't understand. I don't understand the XP bonus thing. Wouldn't I want to use one at a time in case I get a XP bonus. You know what I mean? Like, instead of using all 16 of these, or 14 of these, wouldn't it be smarter to use like one at a time just in case I get the next tier of bonus? I'm guessing ×2 is probably the max, but... Holy cow, that takes a lot. See, now I'm at ×3, so wouldn't it have been smarter to wait? Tear of Frustration. It's a great item name. These are worth a ton. Oh, those are worth a ton too. Yeah, seems like the metal stuff gives more XP. Bro, my Gladius is like super big strong now. You can level up accessories too. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that seems super good. Yo, subs! Thank you for the raid, my man. How was your stream? Hope you had a good one. I'm not sure what you're working on at the moment. Or if you're just chilling. I'm not sure. See, I'm not sure how much I should upgrade these because I might just get another weapon, you know? That's like, what's the point? But man, that upgrade is pretty nuts. I'm at 137 strength now. Lightning's gonna be blasting some boys. 13's good.
Not much of a future for us, huh?
Hard to picture a happy ending.
We don't even know where to go.
I do.
Huh?
There.
Eden? The Sanctum Seat of Power. Oh, that's a great idea. Just charge right in there. Give him a taste of L'Cie terror. You're serious?
Keep running. It's die or turn Seath. There's no place for L'Cie to hide. No. They want to fight. Let's take it to the Sanctum's door.
This isn't a game.
No. That's for damn sure.
But it is.
Started with Sarah. The Fal'Cie took her. Now I'm a Lissie too. And the Sanctum's hunting me, an enemy of the state. But who's pulling their strings? A Fal'Cie. Eden. Cocoon's sustainer and guiding light. It probably ordered the purge too. Pulse and Sanctum Fal'Cie, they're all the same. And we're all the same to them. Expendable. I'm not dying a Fal'Cie slave.
So, what are you gonna do?
Destroy it.
By yourself? Are you crazy? Say you pull it off, What's that get you? Satisfaction? Something happens to Eden, it's lights out Cocoon.
Jam.
You want that? You're a Pulse Lassie now, so you just want to snuff out Cocoon.
No! What about Sarah? She said to save Cocoon. It might even be our focus to make sure Cocoon's...
Our focus doesn't matter. I don't take orders from Fal'Cie. How I live is up to me.
Don't you mean how you die?
Think like that, and it's already over. Better to pick your path and keep moving. Don't worry. I'm after the Sanctum. I'm not out to destroy the world. If it did come to that, wonder if our hero'd try to stop me.
You want to fight Snow now? Just like that and your enemies?
Next time we meet, we might be too.
When the fear sank in, it tore us all apart. Lightning was suffering, reaching out to us, but none of us could see it.
Snow deserves it.
If only I'd been stronger, none of this ever would have happened. I don't know what I should do.
That makes two of us. Whoa,
Hey, you're taking care of me.
Well, it won't be if you keep pushing me like that.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like they're trying to force something that isn't here yet. Like, that feels like the type of cutscene that should happen, like, 30 hours into the story. Like, once we've been together for a super long time, and we've been through so much together, and then now we're falling apart. But instead, like, we're not even friends yet. Like, all we've done since the beginning of the game is argue. We're not, like, really a party yet. Like, really a friend group yet. So it feels weird that they're trying to force emotion out of us. Like, oh no, the party's falling apart. After all this, now look at us. But, like, I'm not sold on us even being friends yet. All we've done is argue. Like, you know what I mean? I'm still waiting for that moment where we kind of come together and become a party. So that felt a bit forced. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it feels a bit forced, you know? No, maybe not 30 hours, but you know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of the scene in 10 with them around the fire. Like, that it should be further in, I think. Or even just, there should be a moment before this where we're like, actually, because so far we haven't agreed on a single thing. So it almost just feels right for us to split up. Especially with Hope, yeah, I mean, and Snow's not even here. So to be like, oh no, the party's falling apart, what's gonna happen next? It's like, bro, we haven't even, we're not even together yet. And the whole, like, lightning is just hurting and reaching out to us, I don't believe that. Like, maybe in general, she's reaching out to everyone. But not to those three. She doesn't care about those three. Not yet. Like, I legitimately think she does not care about them. Not yet.
Wait for me! I'm going with you.
I can't babysit you anymore.
I can fight. I'm not afraid.
Great. A SciComm hit squad.
How'd you have those already set up? How's it going, RJP? I didn't have time to set up our things. I almost feel like they should give you a pause menu before starting fights like this, because I don't know what my paradigms are. You just gave me some random ones. This one works, though. Ow. Maybe it doesn't work. It's been good. Yeah, perhaps it's just Vanille being Vanille, and she just thinks everyone's friends all the time. Because it was from her perspective. So, perhaps it's just showing us her naivete. That's a good point. Because that cutscene was from her perspective. Or at least the dialogue was. The inner dialogue was. All the inner dialogue is, which is interesting.
Not bad.
Really? Thanks.
Oh yeah, Vanille, Saz, and Lightning have a great dynamic, because Lightning is just go, do the thing, and Vanille is like super positive, and then Saz is very realistic. He's not negative, he's realistic. He's a, you know,
Army's out to play.
he's the voice of reason.
What now?
So they play off each other really well.
What now? I mean, we could stay here, but shouldn't
I was gonna say, and then I ended up talking about the other thing instead. I was gonna say that Lightning feels like the essence of what all the characters need. So, like, Saz is a realist, but it's hard for him to pull the trigger on things. Vanille is super positive, but she's naive. And Hope is determined, but scared. And Lightning is what they all need. You know, Saz needs to learn to pull the trigger. Vanille needs to not be naive. I mean, she doesn't need to, but that's like her foil, is not being naive. And Hope needs to be confident and not fearful. And all those things are what Lightning is. So I wonder if that's kind of the idea, is like she is the essence of what the rest of the people need, and that's why they're following her. You know? It's kind of interesting to think about that.
Run?
Huh?
We should run. If we rush in now, we'll just get in her way.
You know, you're right. I guess. I mean, it's not like Lightning needs any help.
There'll be more soldiers. We should keep moving. Lightning? Are you worried about the others? I'm sure they got away okay.
So can you if you leave now. With me, it'll be fight after fight. I don't know how it'll end. It's anybody's guess.
I know that. But I need to be stronger. Lightning,
Call me Light.
what's the plan from here?
Through the Gapra Whitewood to Palampolum. We'll find transport to Eden.
I live in Palampolum. I can show you all the shortcuts.
No side trips.
No need. I don't think Lassie are welcome at home.
I feel like that was an okay Hope cutscene there. It was like, instead of being fearful,
Taking something
he's
off your
accepting the fact that he needs to get stronger. Like, that was okay. Also, what's with the random "you can call me Light"? What was that? Why? Why are we calling you Light now? Is it only Hope? Only Hope can call you Light? She's been like nothing but super tough this entire time, and then randomly she's just like, you can call me Light. Okay, I actually like these a lot. The only one I would add is Commando Medic. And why don't we give you some medic stuff? Ton of HP. Do you have any new synergy abilities? Yes. Raises target's ice resistance. Never mind. That sounds awful. I mean, not awful. But... Wait, that's an extra accessory slot. Okay, we're going that way. Better believe I'm getting that extra accessory slot. Does Lightning have an extra accessory slot somewhere? Lunch? Definitely read that as lunch. Not in there. Oh. Where's my accessory slot? How's it going, Humble? Good to see ya. Oh, in the medic? Why is it in medic? I'm getting that. See you, Sipsco. Have a great weekend. Oh, by the way, this is random. I meant to say it this morning, but my vacation's coming up in a few weeks, just to let you guys know ahead of time. It's the 3rd week in July, I think. Yes, the 3rd week of July, the week of the 16th. Just so you know, my family vacation for the year. I'll remind you more as it comes up. But. How dare you take a vacation? I figured I'd just throw it out there in case you guys are making plans for the summer. You know me, I'm a workaholic. If I took any more than a week, I would drive myself insane. If it were up to me, I wouldn't even take one, but...
Need an attack plan.
I have come to terms with the fact that taking a vacation is actually really helpful. I'm always super motivated and feel rejuvenated after my vacation for the year. So it always ends up being a good idea in the end. But to be completely honest, half the time I usually dread vacation. It's always the same. I dread it as it approaches, and then afterwards I'm glad I did it. That's just how my brain works. having said that, if you're watching this on YouTube, you won't see any difference because we'll do a double day before I go, so that I'll have episodes out while I'm gone. So you won't notice it on YouTube, but on Twitch we'll be gone for a week. I won't be playing any video games, that's for sure. I'll be hanging with the boys. Which, that part of it I am looking forward to, because they've been so busy. They've been busy and I've been busy this summer. We haven't had a lot of time to just hang out, be together. And soon they'll be back off to school and then I'll never see them. My oldest is starting kindergarten, so he's like actually in real school now. I feel like we're never gonna see him, which is not really true, but it just feels that way, you know? Because when I was in school, it was like, go to school, come home, sleep, go back to school. That's how it always felt. I will say, there's a bit of a weird clash between this game wanting to be a grindy type game and also being a hallway simulator. So like, all I can do is go forward. Like that, all I can do is go forward. We're 7 hours in, all I've done is go forward. Right? Which is fine, doesn't make it a bad game by any means. But the mechanics make it seem like it wants me to stop and grind. The upgrade system, the Crystarium system, it makes it feel like it would be a good idea to grind some enemies and get some more CP points and get some more components. So it feels like there's kind of a clash of ideologies here. It's like, on one hand, it wants me to just go forward, and on the other hand, it wants me to not go forward. And if it were a normal turn-based RPG, I could just do this to get into a fight. Wow, I can't even do it because the movement in this game is weird. I was gonna run around in circles. I could just do this to get into fights, right? But I can't do that. So, like, how does it want me to grind? Just run backwards? Because there's no... I mean, the enemies don't respawn. Oh, I guess they do. They actually... Yeah, they respawn kind of close, actually. I thought I'd have to run kind of far away. So is that what it wants you to do? Is just run back and forth, I guess? Just seems kind of counter to its own system, you know what I mean? Like, I think what would have really helped this game out, both in terms of its mechanics, but also, like, everyone calling it a hallway simulator and memeing on it, is if the areas were just a bit more diverse. You know, think like Kingdom Hearts, right? Kingdom Hearts is just about as linear as this game is at the start, but the worlds are usually more like squares, where you like start here and go around and search the area and then you end up back where you started. And maybe that would have worked better for this. Instead of just going forward, like, imagine this. Imagine if instead of this map just being a hallway from one side to the other, imagine if instead it was something similar to like one of the dungeons in Final Fantasy XII, where like there's a main hub and then you have to like go to the left to collect some crystal, and then you have to go to the right to collect another crystal, and then you put the two crystals in an elevator, and then the elevator takes you up, and then, you know what I mean? Just some kind of like different level design. Like, I think the level design is really what this game struggled with a lot. if the level design was built more like a game that wasn't linear, it would feel a lot less linear, even though it is. You know, it's all narrow hallways, yeah. The linearity, you know, I said at the start of this Let's Play, you know, let's try to critically think about whether or not this game really is as linear as people said it is, or if it was a different issue. And I'm starting to realize that I think the true issue is the level design. I think the true issue is that the levels are literally hallways. Not that it's necessarily linear, because a lot of games are, a lot of Final Fantasy games are, but it's the literal, actual, physical act of just walking forward that's like most of the game. Whereas if they had just designed it a bit different, like I said, if you just started in a hub and it was like, do you want to go left or right? And then by the time you're done with it, you come back to the main hub and put in some kind of item, and then it lets you go to the next area or something, you know, or just really just anything. Like, you don't even need branching paths. Branching paths doesn't automatically mean good level design, but just something to where we're doing something else. Some kind of, oh, we need a key card to open this door, and then the key card is halfway down this hallway, and then you have to come back through the same hallway. Just anything, any kind of variety. Because, I mean, there's nothing. You're just going forward. We're 7 hours in, and not a single map has looked any different than this. So I really do feel like that's where it was actually, I think that was the true cause of everybody memeing on the game. It was the actual level design. And also, I was gonna say that the areas, I mean, this looks exactly like the game has looked for the past 7 hours. Rocks and trash. Like, that's been the whole game. The beginning of the game, we were up top with the robots and everything, but ever since we fell down here, which was like 2 hours in, it's been rocks and trash. And that's been the extent of the areas. And I think we're actually just about to get to like our first city, and then things are probably going to change it up, but I mean, truly, it's been trash and rocks for a very long time.
Any trace of the
which doesn't help things.
Nothing. No sign it's been activated. Huh? Who's there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if there was like an area where, you know, like a Final Fantasy XII dungeon, where it's like, oh, you can't get through this door until you pick up a crystal on the other side of the map, and then you have to like backtrack through, and then maybe there's like a trap on your way back or something, like just any kind of variety in the level design.
Probably
that would have helped it out
try and
so
use a
much.
pulse machine to escape.
Maybe we should try it. What does this do?
Turn it on and make it kill us.
You're gonna hurt yourself. Don't touch that.
Wait, what if it works?
Leave it. I told you to leave it.
Stop! Stop already! I think I got it. Light, I think I can work this.
Hope did something. Also going to been a difference, or been difference. I don't know why I thought there was an extra I. They can keep the maps the same, just put in a couple quests. I don't know. I don't even think quests are necessary. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to compare it to like other games. So like Final Fantasy X is a great example because it's practically as linear as this game. Until you get to like Calm Lands. It's literally just go forward. You know? So what is it about 10 where when 10 came out, no one was really calling it linear? At least not to the extent that this game got memed on, right? So why was that game okay, but this one wasn't? And I think it's because the level design of 10, if you think about literally any area, like think about Besaid. Besaid is a big square. You start off going to the right, go down to the village, and then you come back through the left. Macalania was like a big... I mean, technically it actually was kind of a straight path, but it was a swervy path. You know, you think about the Thunder Plains was technically just a straight shot through, but there was all these little areas to go around, and there was the mechanic of it zapping you and something to keep it interesting, right? So I think the level design is really what shines through. Macalania, or not Macalania, Mihen High Road was also just a straight shot. But you had the chocobos, and you had like different area, and then you could ride the chocobo to jump up on the thing, and there was that little area that went down, and if you knocked the chocobo dude down there, or wait, no, if you got knocked down, then you had to come back up through there. So, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the areas in 10 are just like the areas in this game, but there's more to do. There's more gimmicks, there's side areas. The roads were wider, which sounds weird, but honestly, I think that is a big part of it. Honestly, I think, because I think about Mihen High Road, and I don't think of it as just a hallway, but it is. It really, I mean, you just straight up go straight through. But it's so wide that it feels like you're constantly doing this to pick up chests. Like, the chests are like this, so you're constantly going like this. So it doesn't feel as linear, you know? I really do think a big part of it is just the actual level design. And also, you're constantly hitting, even to the point where it seems silly, but you're constantly hitting areas that are completely different looking. You go through Macalania Woods and suddenly you're in snow, right? You go through, Guadosalam. I almost called it Guatemala. You go through Guadosalam and suddenly you're in the Thunder Plains. You go through the, what's the area before, before you get to the mountains, where are you before that? Oh, the Calm Lands. You go through the Calm Lands and suddenly you're in the mountains, right? And then suddenly you're in Zanarkand. So even though it almost seems kind of silly that these areas would be next to each other, it helps a lot because you're constantly seeing new environments. Here it's like rocks and garbage for 4 hours. Like, you know what I mean? They needed more variety, even if it didn't fit very well, just because you get sick of it after a while, you know? Yeah, Gagazet was a super narrow road, but it went back and forth and up and down, and it had like kind of wild geometry, even though it was just a narrow road. Bonk. Bonk. What is even the purpose of this? They can't attack me. What's with the goofy music? I mean, I know it's goofy because, like, Hope is doing it, but I can't help but feel like I should be listening to some, like, rock tune or something right now. Is this bowling? Hope's like, I just murdered people. Is this murder? Oh my god! The way they just T-pose. T-pose into the air. What the heck? Yeah, I'm not killing. They're just retiring early, for sure.
Nice landing. Let's get moving.
Just need a minute. I'm still a bit winded.
You're too soft.
Wait up!
It's a child, Lightning. That's a child. What happens if I go backwards? Can I fight all those guys I yeeted? Nothing. Just more trash. Trash and rocks. She believes in tough love, but hold the love.
Hope we find another one of those things.
Why? So you can fall off of it again?